Double busy, getting busy, do. Yo, what's up, It's me, the double busy. So this is the Omen17 laptop that I bought about 3 months ago, $1,200 at the time. This is the HP Pavilion 16 Gaming that I bought just a couple days ago, only $750. It is much quieter and has the same graphics card. The reason it's quieter is it has integrated graphics also, so you can see that the cooling system is a lot smaller because it's not needed as much. So what I'm doing is taking this second hard drive that I had in here, storing all my family photos and videos, and moving it over here. First thing I had to do was take all the screws out of the lids. So there's usually some combination of like 4 in the front, 4 in the back. There's some extra one on the sides of the Omen. And then there was 4 on the back and 4 on the front there. The screwdriver I'm using is this little Popular Mechanics screwdriver. It's basically a PH1, but this Husky PH1 is a little bit, it's hard to see because of the focus, it's a little too deep. It doesn't quite fit. And for some reason, the point on this one's a little shallower, so it fits better. So you take all the screws out. Then I used my Husky flatheads with these tiny little flatheads and the one that's slightly bigger than that to get in underneath the edge and just turn it just enough to get a nice, soft, smooth butter knife in there. And then I get that under the edge and I twist a little bit and it pops it up. And then you have to work your way all the way around the edge, sliding it over to where it gets stuck, twisting it, and it'll pop. Sliding, twisting, pop, all the way around to get each of the tops off. Okay, then on the Omen, there are 2 little kind of braces here, and it's too hard to get into the side because of the way the battery is, so I have to take the braces off. Then I'll have to undo the screws here of the braces to get the hard drive out. I'll put the braces back in, and then I'll do the same thing over here. So let me finish getting those braces off. When you start this job, make sure you have a screwdriver that has maybe a little bit of magnetism to it. Obviously, you want to be very careful with magnets around electronics and hard drives. But when you're dealing with the screws, and you drop them in, inevitably drop them into these tiny little spaces, it's nice to be able to have a screwdriver with just enough magnetism to pull them out and rescue them. And then you can work with them. Okay, while you're doing this job, make sure you have a way to keep all your little screws separated. So you see I have like a little tray, these little magnetic trays I bought for 99 cents at Harbor Freight Tools. But it's also not just enough to keep them separated because there are so many different sizes. So keep them organized within the tray. For example, I know that those 4 little tiny ones are the 4 that go here. And then I know that these 6 big long ones are the 6 that are going to go around here. So I'm putting them in the tray visually to match where they go. Or I'm putting them in this tray to visually match where they go. Do something like that. Use ziploc baggies, use tape, use a magnetic tray, use something to keep them organized and know exactly where they belong. Okay, now I got the hard drive out and then I put the little braces back in where they belong. Here is the hard drive. It's just an old Toshiba, just big enough to hold lots of pictures and photos. Just a regular old hard disk drive spinning platters. And so then I will take the plastic space holder out. Now a little trick with these, that little black thing right there is like a flip. You can flip it up and then a little tape will slide right out. And then you'll be able to lift all of this up and out together, and then you'll be able to take out the connector. It's a lot easier this way than it is trying to fight with it in this small space. They're pretty snug. Okay, let me get that out and then I'll show you that. Okay, I got all 4 screws out. Now you can see that this entire plastic thing should just lift up out of there. Let me try to get some leverage. I'm going to have to use both hands. Just a second. Okay, it's squished in there pretty tight, but eventually you can lift it out. I used my butter knife to kind of just gently get underneath it. Okay, then should be able to pull this out. There we go. Gotta have two hands to do it. So now I keep this over here because I'm going to need that. This plastic space holder will actually go in here in order to hold that in place so it's not rattling all around. Something else interesting, I noticed the speakers wobble. They actually do that on purpose so that they don't vibrate the whole case when they're playing loud noises. And that's a pretty cool feature. Okay, then I'll get the hard drive into the... Actually, I'll get the hard drive plugged into the cable in the big part, put into the caddy, and then slide it back into that and close the little lid. Okay, for the Omen17, you're going to have to go ahead and take the little brace out on the right-hand side and attach it. It's too hard to fit the screwdrivers in there. But once you do that, you'll be able to do that screw and that screw. Then you'll be able to do these two side screws because you can get around them. You can get around the speaker and get at them. And then you can plug that little cable right back in. Okay, now I got it slid in there. All I have to do is flip that little black thing down, and that's in place. Then I'll do these two screws mounting the brace or the caddy to the chassis. And then I'll do those two screws mounting the little plastic holder to the brace chassis, or the caddies, I'm sorry. Again, it's very important to keep which screws are which separate, because you can see that the screws to the chassis are M2, but from the hard drive to the caddy are M3. Those are the thicker ones. Okay, all the chassis screws are in, all the caddy screws are in. Now you can take the lid and place it back on. The grills obviously go over where the fans are. And then you can just start at one corner, push down, and you'll hear maybe some gentle little pops as it pops into place. Work your way around the edge. And then you check and make sure that it's nice and tight and sealed all the way around. Now, unfortunately, metal tools on plastic are going to cause some little marks. So if you do this yourself, warranty people might wonder. Hopefully nothing goes wrong with your computer. But we also have to check and make sure all the others. You might have to lift up on your little RJ45 connection as you press down. And now I'm checking in the back to make sure the seams are all nice and tight before I start screwing them together. Okay, now I can use the screws that I saved in that pattern to match the pattern I did here and put it all back together. Now on the Pavilion 16, the screws for the caddy are such that you can get to them, so you can leave the caddy in place. Put the hard drive in, screw it in, and connect it. I'm going to go ahead and put the cable into the hard drive first, set it in place, and then put the cable into the computer. Alright, so here's a problem I did not anticipate. The caddy is too shallow. And let me pull this out and show you why. Okay. Those little metal wings right there prevent it from going down any further. And the hard drive kind of has this metal plate on top. So apparently that's too thick. So it has to have a smaller version of the hard drives. But what I can do is flip it over, and it won't go down all the way. It'll kind of float up above, and I'll see if that can fit underneath the cover. Alright, well, the other way did not work either, because the hard drive stuck up so far that the cover would not snap back into place. So, clearly, we cannot have the thicker style of hard drives that go into laptops. You have to make sure you find the thinner ones. I can't remember the millimeter sizes, but there are two specific types, the thicker ones and the thinner ones. And apparently this laptop can only take the thinner ones. Now, I personally am going to wedge this into place where it is right now, plug it in, and use it. I would not recommend that for anyone, but the reason I'm going to do it is because I will have the little pad here in place. It'll all be snapped into place and screwed into place, and I use this as a desktop replacement. So other than what I'm doing right now, this thing literally never leaves my desk. The only time I might move it is to carry it out to the living room, stick it on the counter table, and work on the counter. You can see there's the Omen over there. It's working again. Now, it had a little bit of a fit with the missing drive, so I'll have to change some drive letters, but that's not a big deal. Basically, just go into the drives or the folders that it thinks are missing, right-click Properties. You can go to Location, restore the defaults, and it'll take care of everything. And you cannot, when it asks you if you want to move files, obviously say no, because all the files are over here on this drive. So I'm going to leave it in place, plug it all in, snap it all together, and use it. I would not recommend this for anybody. If you do want to put another hard drive into the Pavilion 16 Gaming, you're going to have to specifically look for the thinner version of either solid-state drives or the hard disk drives. But know that for the hard disk drives, the thinner versions have limited capacity. So if you want like an 8 or a 9 or 10 terabyte small hard drive, you're not going to be able to get one. That's going to be the thicker form factors. Okay, to make sure that I never lose the screws, I went ahead and just put them in here in the top. So that way I've got the screws. I was able to slide the little ribbon back in place, lock it down with that little black flap, and then I just gently pushed the hard drive down into its place here. I know some of you are probably thinking, oh my God, this is a tragedy. Don't ever do this. You're going to lose all your information. Well, I agree. Don't ever do this. But I'm going to do it anyway. Even if this hard drive dies and goes bad, I have everything backed up to the cloud. And then someday I'll buy a hard drive that's actually thinner. But for now, this is the only one I have. I can't afford a new solid-state drive to put in here, and it won't be big enough to hold all these photos and pictures and videos that I have. So this is what I'm stuck with for now. Okay, same thing as with the Omen. Get it in place, push, and you'll hear little bits and pieces of it snap back into place. And then just work your way around the edges, getting them all to snap back in. And eventually, you'll get them all in, you'll check your seams, and everything will be back in place. So I need to put the camera down to check it with two hands. Okay, I did a fit check around all the edges. One you want to watch out for is these edges in the back, near the fans, underneath here. You have to squeeze awfully tight to get everything to snap back together in the front. And then I gently shook it with two hands just to make sure everything's nice and snug. There is no movement or anything where that hard drive is located over here. So we are good to go. I'm going to put all the screws back in. And again, it helps that now I have them sorted and organized visually. All right, all the screws are back in place. Everything seems nice and snug. So now let's go ahead and turn it on and see how things go. All right, here we are, and you can see now that that hard drive is there. It's a 1 terabyte Toshiba, that model number, and everything's good. So what I'm going to do now is make sure that some things move. For example, videos. So right-click, Properties, Location, and then I'm going to go ahead and find target. I'm going to look in the U, because that's my users. And which one was I doing again? Videos. So I'm doing the videos. Click. Oh, see, I'm navigating in the wrong thing. Find target. I think what it is I'm going to have to click up here. Oh, it thinks it's the D drive. Okay, I'm going to have to go into the hard drives, not the device management, but the create and format hard disk partitions. I like to call it the U drive because that's for my users' information. Right click, change drive letter and paths, change it from D to the letter U. It's hard to do this through the phone camera. Okay. Some programs might not run correctly. That's okay because I don't have any programs worried about that right now. And now let's go back to this. Click in there for the videos. Click up here in the address bar. Aha! There we go, U videos. So Control A, copy, Control C, come down in here, Control A, Control V, paste. And so now that's where the videos is. Go ahead and click apply. See what kind of message we get. Do you want to move files? No, because I don't have anything to move yet. So click no, and then OK. Follow the same process for the pictures now. Right click, properties, location. There's all that gobbledygook. Let's go over here and make sure I know what my pictures is. Should just be U pictures. Copy that. Come over here, paste it, and OK. And it'll tell me the same thing. Do you want to move it? No, because I don't have any pictures or videos. It's a brand new computer. Okay. So now the user's pictures and videos is on the U drive, the letter U, thanks to disk management. And then all the pictures and videos for these little quick access things is there also. So when I click on here, it should put up all my videos. And when I click on here, it puts all my pictures. Awesome. A couple days later, and I've got everything organized. Just did the error checking to make sure there's nothing wrong with the drive. So everything's going fine. And I was able to organize it the way I wanted it, to be able to put my Google Drive, music, pictures, and videos. So I can always take those things and move them if I ever move to a new computer, just like I did this time. But all of those are also synced and backed up through the Google Backup Cloud. Alright, so thanks for watching, and good luck when you're putting in a new hard drive or swapping them out on either one of these machines. Double busy, getting busy, do.